what I miss most about her is Mommy's calls. I really miss Mommy's calls because whenever I was at hostel, Mommy would call me on a daily and I would tell her about my day. From morning to evening, who I met, who I talked to, who gave me what, who disturbed me, like I would tell her about my day. And I miss that because even if I get friends to do that with, it's not the same. It's not the same because with Mommy it was different. Like she would, even if someone gave me something or a cloth, I would tell Mommy about it. And she'd be like, oh, that's so nice. What have you given them?
Margaret was my mother. She was a friend. She was, she had all the good things in her. She was a designer. She was a comedian. She was, a dancer, everything. Like she had all the good things in her. And she knew how to handle all of us differently. She knew all her children, like personally. And if you wanted anything, you could just go talk to her. One of the things that I learned from her is to fear God. And I think that is what has kept me moving on, even when she's not here with us. Because I've learned to honor God. Margaret she's still so special, yeah. And also a thing I learned from her, I learned to love people regardless of how they are, regardless of their behavior, but to love them either way. Because she loved people. She loved you. And the skills, I learned how to do baking, because we used to bake together, baking cakes, all this different stuff. And yeah, she was a great mother, and even up there, she's still doing her job, I guess so.
Hello folks, how are you? Welcome. My name is Pablo. I'm not sure how to do this because I don't know, I'm not good at putting feelings into words, especially when it comes to mom. Mom was a loving woman. Mom was a beautiful woman, resilient. Mom was gifted. Mom was caring. To me, my mother was my anchor. To me, my mother was my friend. She was my confidant. My mother was that one person that I talk to in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. She was that one person who I talk to celebrate a win or an achievement. She was that one person when I was down, I talked to. There's nothing that I can say that would show you what my mother meant to me. I just don't have the words for it. Margaret Masembe was a gifted lady. She had a knack of turning any serious situation and making it light, however heavy it was. One of my fondest memories was back in 2005, 2006. I was staying alone, and she had been telling me, Pablo, come visit at home. And as a young man, you're all over the place, you're just getting the hang of life, figuring this out, figuring that out. And I remember I felt sick. I had an ear infection which turned septic, and I was in so much pain. The only person I could think of was my mom. So I went home, and when she saw me, she told me, it looks bad, we need to prick it, and release it of the build-up of the pus. So, okay, I put my head onto her laps, and I remember she got a needle and she pricked my ear. And as she was pressing the ear, I was in so much pain. And I was screaming, and she goes like, yes, hey, you think you're a man, eh? Olowooza oli musajja, okuze nnyo, tusobola kakati oliwa. And I just ended up laughing in my pain. That was my mom. She was the kind of person who would, raise your spirits. When I was down in hospital, surgery, she was the only person that I had. There's nothing that can fill the space that she has left in my heart. It hurts every day. It pains. And I've tried to tell myself that she's in a better place. I know, but it still hurts. My mother was everything to me. That being said, I'm very sure Margaret Masembe was a lot of things to a lot of people. And I want to thank the Lord for her life. I want to thank the Lord for having given me the time, the brief time, to be a part of her life and her to be a part of my life. That's it, folks. Thank you. Cheers.
Fond memories, interesting. Well, there are many. I think one of the things that really stands out to me, you know how people always say, "Mama yangamba," my mom told me this or that. Now, for me, my mom actually told me things. There is this time I wanted to make chapatis, but I was still too young and I also didn't know how to make chapatis. So she calls me and tells me a story of a young man whose mother was letting him do everything. Later on, the young man gets into trouble. He's going to be killed, and he's tied on a tree. He's going to be burnt on that tree. So he calls for his, they asked him what he would want to do last in life. So he called his mom, and he said, "I want to whisper to my mom." When his mom came, he bit off his mom's ear because his mom was letting him do everything that he wanted. At that time, it was both funny and annoying because I was trying to ask for something and she was trying to tell me no in a polite way. But that's one of the things that I remember about her. Like, she had that she's going to make you laugh in a way that you don't want to laugh. Like you actually want to be angry, but she's being funny at that time. I think that's one of the things that really stand out for me. But times we would go with her to buy school stuff, things for school. We go downtown, gende mchikuo, nonye ngoye, nonyanga towa, she would bargain. Asanga engato ya mutwalo nagamba zimbi nankumenya. And she would get away with it. She was definitely the business lady. Apart from all the funny stuff and the funny side of her, she was actually very serious, very responsible and not careless at all. She taught us a lot. You never take her for granted. She rarely caned any of us, but she kept us in a position of respect for her without even having to use a stick, without having to abuse us. And well, the stories are endless. There are several memories. I can't tell them all. To sum it up, I will say that the memory I have of her is of a strong woman who is also intelligent and yet very humble at the same time. Like, things that seem to be complex to you, she's going to give you an answer and like, well, I thought that was obvious. Or like, she's going to offer you solutions, and once she gives you advice, you're sure it's going to work. Or once once you ask her for any kind of advice, you have confidence that it will work. You can count on it. She was really intelligent, very reliable. Sometimes it was harder to ask her for advice because you already knew what she would say, because she would tell you the hard truth as it is. So yeah, but so many memories, I can't tell them all.
That's a big question. Only mine it's the simple. How do you celebrate? Let's see. Okay. So positively or negatively, to begin with, it's hard. I miss Mami, of course, and I think that's the only negative. Then positively, it has taught me to value life in the sense of my time here counts. I remember something I said when Mami had just passed is if 52 years are enough, 53 years are enough for me to get done with all that needs to be done by God. Very many words that have been distorted there. You edit it? Okay. So one thing that I said even after Mami passing was if 53 years are enough for someone to accomplish all that God needed them to do while they were down here on earth, then so be it. But that has caused me to value each and every day and know that my time here counts, and I have been given the choice to make it count. And yeah, I sure long to live mine like she lived hers. Then it has also taught me to really affirm all the lessons that she had taught me. Like I had known all these things she was teaching me, but her going has made me, it has caused me to be eager to press them into play, yeah? For example, one thing she always mentioned to me was to work hard at everything I do. Even if you've been given a floor to mop, you'll be the best person that has ever mopped that floor. Like whatever you do, do it well. So her lessons are now, like they're now louder. They're louder echoes in my mind than they were before. And they're really building me into a better person. I know that for sure. Then lastly, I am learning to be strong. I'm really learning to be strong. It doesn't make sense to me how it's playing out, but I am learning each and every day, and the good thing about it is I don't have to depend on my own strength. There is strength for literally everything that I would have worried about before, but now I no longer have to fret about everything, to cry about everything. I know I have like a certain strength. I think one thing I said when she had just gone, I said a lot of things, was I think as she was going to heaven, she like told God, if you're taking me, first throw down a sack of strength for Phoebe. And like I've seen that strength. I've seen myself become a stronger woman. And yeah, it's beautiful to watch me evolve.
Olwaliro nzize kwebaza Katonda olwa Margaret, era njagala okwebaza Katonda kulwa mwe mwennabaze okutwebalizaako Katonda olw'omuntu ono ow'enjawulo ennyo. Margaret Tebitendwa Birabwa Nannyanzi Masembe bwe tutambudde naye olugendo lw'obulamu emyaka 26 era n'abaako ekinene ennyo ekyenjawulo kye yagatta ku famire yaffe. Njagala okwebaza Katonda kubanga atusobozesezza okutambulira mu kyawandiikibwa n'okukituukiriza eky'omubuulizi 9:9. Mukama Katonda wagambira nti beeranga n'omukazi gw'oyagala n'essanyu ennaku zonna ez'obulamu bwo obutaliimu bwakuwadde wansi w'enjuba, kubanga obwo gwe mugabo gwo mu bulamu ne mu kuteganaako kw'otegana wansi w'enjuba. Mazima ddala Margaret abadde mugabo gwange. Olwaleero nzize kwebaza Katonda olwo ekisa kye yatuwa ekyatusobozesa okutuukiriza endagaano ey'obufumbo n'obweyamo. Omwagalwa wange nange bwe twakola ng'ennaku z'omwezi 17 Desemba omwaka 1995 ku kanisa ya Victory Christian Center, nga ddala okufa kwokka kwe kutwawukanyiza. Obufumbo bwaffe bubaddemu ebintu byonna bye twalayira: obwavu, obugagga, endwadde, obulamu, naye mu byonna Yesu n'atufuula okubeera abawanguzi n'okuggirawo. Njagala okwebaza Katonda olw'ezzadde eddungi Katonda lyatuwadde mu bbanga eryo. Enjogere kindeke ki? Njagala okwebaza Katonda kubanga mukyala wange era maama w'abaana abadde alina omukwano ng'ate teyeekkiriranya n'ekintu ky'atakkiriziganya nakyo, nga niwe kibanga kinaakukosa era akugamba ekintu nga bwe kiri. Abadde muntu wa mazima. Neebaza Katonda kubanga omukyala gwe yampa yali mukazi mukozi era nga n'emirimu gye gyeyogerera gyokka: nsuku z'amatooke, misiri gya kasooli, yedduuka ery'abagole, biyumba bya nkoko, byonna tubikoze ffenna. Neebaza Katonda kubanga omukyala gwe yampa yali mubeezi ddala, ansaanira. Kambagereza, bwe twali tuzimba amaka gaffe, tuzimba ennyumba, twagendanga ffenna mu birombe nga awalampa ttipa, olwo ne tutubiranga nayo mu budde obw'ekiro. Abalombe nno balowooza nti muzeeyi azze asitudde alonze ekkubo, kumbe maama w'abaana gwempise naye. Tunyumiddwa obufumbo bwaffe kubanga buli kintu bali tukikola ffenna. Njagala kwebaza Katonda olw'omukyala omwetowaze gwe yampa, bwe tutadde tukola emirimu ffenna egy'okubuulira. Tuuto mu byalo Lwakaayi, tuuto mu byalo mu Kyaggwe, tuuto yonna yonna Mukama gy'atutumye, tuuto mu Amerika, yonna yonna nga tugenda babiri, naye ng'obubaka buli bumu: okutabagana ne Katonda okuyita mu Kristo Yesu. N'ekirabo Kristo Yesu kyetuwa ffe abaana b'abantu. Njagala kwebaza Katonda kubanga buli lwe nafunanga omukisa okubuuliranga nga mbashuwa nti Margaret waatudde ali mu kunsabira. Nebaza Katonda kubanga Margaret abadde muntu musanyufu era nga muntu aleeta essanyu awaka, nga muntu musaaze, nga ffenna alina engeri gy'atunoonya ne bw'obanga obadde osirise, era akuggyemu ebigambo, era akuggyemu akaseko. Ekisembayo ate nga kisingira ddala obukulu, njagala okwebaza Katonda olw'essuubi eddamu gye tulina mu Kristo Yesu, nga tumanyi nti ku lunaku olw'omulindwa Kristo Mukama waffe ng'akomyewo okukima abalonde be, ng'ekyawandiikibwa bwe kigamba Bakolinso ekisooka 15:51-54 nti laba mbabuulira ekyama amangu ago nga kutemya kikowe, akagombe ak'enkomerero bwe kalivuga, kubanga kalivuga n'abafu balizuukizibwa. Tugenda kwambazibwa emibiri emijja egitafa era egitavunda. Era njagala okwebaza Katonda kubanga abaagalwa baffe bonna nga ne Margaret mumutwalidde omwagalwa wange era omugole wange, tugenda kuddiŋŋana, tujja kuba naye. Olwaleero nzize kwebaza Katonda kubanga omukisa weeguli, naawe ampuliriza singa oba osazeewo okwetwalira Kristo Yesu ng'omulokozi wo. Mwana wattu agamba bw'ati nti twaweebwa obutuukirivu bwa buwa olw'okununulibwa okuli mu Kristo Yesu. Lwaki tutwala okununulibwa okulwaleero? Lwaki tutwala obutuukirivu obwo obw'obuwa bwe tuweereddwa ng'abaana b'abantu? Mukama banjagalire, mwebale kujja ku mukolo guno. kama abakuume.
That if you call upon Jesus' name, you are saved.